Hey everybody, welcome back to aBlogtoWatch, checking in from Geneva, Switzerland at SIHH 2019. I'm Zach Piña. I'm here with David Bredan. David, welcome.
Hey everyone.
So today we're checking in with our hits, misses, and surprises from the show so far. So of course we're looking at watches that were a slam dunk from the get-go, watches that we were kind of hoping to be amazing but maybe weren't, and some stuff that surprised us from around the show as as we do the rounds essentially. So
that's right.
Take us away. What blew you away so far? Your first hit?
The first hit is gonna be the Ulyssnadden Free Cags for me.
Yes,
definitely. At
absolutely.
21,000. It's still a lot of money, obviously. It's,
lest we not forget.
Yeah, no question about that. But we've come to a point where it's either a freak, or a steel Daytona. It feels weird saying that. It used to be 50,000, 45,000, and 100,000 even for a Free Cags. What you get for your money when I'm looking at our pictures and this watch, it looks fantastic, and you get so much. If you're a watch nerd and you look at your wrist, you know what you're getting is an incredible piece of horology.
Yeah, and not just that. I mean, the execution of this movement is really something unique on the wrist. I think it's really important to point out that it's not a cheap watch. People are saying the new Freak X is, it's cheap. Relative to the previous Freaks, it is remarkably less money. That being said, it wears like a regular watch. That's what really blew me away with this. It's a 43mm case, has beautiful lines, regular 21mm lugs. It wears amazingly well. And that DLC titanium with the slate blue dial is absolutely gorgeous.
It's the same size as my Grand Seiko,
There you go.
And it feels weird to wear a watch with the balance wheel on the dial side and have it like so variable and it just looks so great.
That thing's an absolute treat.
Yeah, and the hit for you?
The hit for me has to be the Piaget Altiplano Ultra Thin with the Meteorite dial. I've always been a fan of the Altiplano. I mean, I'm not a tuxedo or a dressy guy, but that to me has always been the epitome of the dress watch. It's ultra thin, it's elegant, but it still maintains this kind of masculine minimalism. I'm not sure how else to describe it. And with the Meteorite dial set against the rose gold case, that thing just pops. It's absolutely gorgeous on the wrist. The downside to it, of course, is they punched a hole in the Meteorite with a date window, not just any date window. They didn't even color match the date wheel to the dial. It's white. It looks off. I'm honestly I don't mind the date wheel. I don't honestly get a lot of the hate that most date wheels get on most watches because I use the date. I don't mind it. But in this particular instance where it should be a time-only watch, this watch is still a hit for me. I would still wear this.
It's gorgeous.
Happily, but that date window's a bummer.
Yeah, exactly.
So what about a miss? So that the date window's not enough to make the Altiplano a miss for me. But what was an absolute miss from the get-go for you from the show?
The miss for me is gonna be the AP code 1159.
Of course,
expectedly, but not in the way you think. It's a gorgeous watch. A lot of effort went into it. My main issue with it is legibility.
Yeah.
4 out of the 5 three-handers. They're just a shiny dial with a shiny stick hands, and I look at it and they're kind of reflective crystal too. So I look at the watch and I think to myself, it has this beautiful case and a beautiful movement too. And like I say, it's only the white dial version that contrasts well enough to make for good legibility.
I agree. That thing was pulling teeth to photograph. And watching you, I mean, comparing our shots when we got back to the hotel at the end of the day, I don't know how you did it. I genuinely did not know how you did that.
We did try very hard to make sure that we showed in a way in which you can see it under some lighting situations, but a lot of the time you will see, as you go about your daily life and you look at the watch, it's just not going to be as legible as it should be.
And it's a strange watch to me because it's almost as though it's meant to be appreciated only from a certain angle. And that angle is not this angle. Yeah. And that angle is the angle that a lot of photographs, somebody shoots the thing directly on. It's not that angle. It's not meant to be appreciated that way. You completely missed the point.
I mean, we've known for a long time that AP makes beautiful cases and beautiful bracelets too. There's no bracelet option and there's not one planned for the time, unfortunately, for the code 1159.
Could you imagine that thing with a solid gold
I would
bracelet?
love it. Just because of the quality of the bracelet. That's the point. Because the case is so beautifully made. I thought this up and I think it applies.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a case made like a movement.
Yeah. Yes.
With like 1 micron tolerance. And neglage and beveling and so on. You are technically wearing a watch movement on your wrist, which is really cool. Not AP's words, my words. Unfortunately, the dial is a miss, and that makes the code 1159 a miss for me. And for you, the miss?
The miss for me, not so much a singular watch per se, but I went into our meeting with JLC with very high expectations. Not so much expectations, but you and I are both big fans of the brand. We've been following it for a long time. We tend to like their sportier stuff because they bring a certain elegance but again, a masculinity to an innovation to a lot of these sportier collections. We didn't see anything like that. Last year, of course, being the year of the Polaris, we didn't see an expansion on the Polaris. We didn't see any new additions to that line, which to me was kind of a bummer because I know that collection stalled a little bit over the summer. I don't think it ever really fully got off the ground. And it would have been cool to see some more complications, some more dial colors, strap options. It would have been cool just to see a little bit of refreshing there. They did give us a Reverso and Burgundy and a few, a few other kind of reskin variants. We did get to see the Master Collection with the blue enamel dials, which were beautiful. They photographed really well. And of course the Gyro Tourbillon, but we'll keep waiting, keep crossing our fingers for JLC. I know, speaking with the team in the booth, they do have plans for the Polaris and they do have some other releases. They tend to release a few more watches later in the summer. So we were kind of spoiled last year with that full collection. Not as many releases from them. So stay tuned.
And if you guys didn't know, the Master Compressor is discontinued completely.
Very true. 100% gone.
It's out of production. The Master Compressor. I cannot believe it.
Yeah.
I freaking love that. So I hope they will bring it back someday.
Very good. And last but not least, surprises. What surprised you from the show so far as we're kind of wandering around?
The surprise for me has got to be the Montblanc Heritage Pulsometer.
Oh, yeah.
But again, not in the way you think, because what blew me away about it is the price. It's 28,000 euros. That's about $32,000. Yeah. And I look at the watch, and it's a beautiful watch. It has the minor movement, which we know and we love. I mean, it's been around, since the T-Rexes died out.
Yeah. So, the finishing is amazing on this thing. I mean, it really is. The architecture as well.
It's a nice watch, but when I heard the price, and it's 14 times more expensive than a three-hander.
You could Bruno Mars your whole crew with the three-hander. You could buy the price of one.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's pretty up there. If this watch was along, with the Freak and others that released at this show for about 20 grand, I would say, wow, that's a strong offering. For 32, I think it's trying to compete in a league in which I don't think it quite belongs. I
don't think so either. Yeah, and I mean, quite frankly, I don't feel like that's Montblanc's brand positioning. So to me, that watch feels a bit incongruous with the rest of their offerings.
You could just say Minerva on the dial. I don't mind that they put Montblanc on it, but technically you're getting a Minerva at this point, even though they purchased the manufacturer.
That's very true.
And a surprise
for you? Yeah. The biggest surprise for me so far has got to be the new Cartier, the Santos Noctambule. So Noctambule, I think being French for night owl. This, we were kind of, we've already looked at the chronograph. We've looked at a lot of other pretty expected offerings, but when that thing hit the table, it's a black DLC case. It has this really like super matte but high luxury kind of a feel to it that's really, really amazing. The best thing about it is the movement plates. All the movement plates, the bridges have been skeletonized to reveal the Roman numerals in the dial. And then the plates themselves have been treated with superluminova, so it glows. The first time we've seen a Santos, skeletonized Santos, with this kind of a glow treatment, it's super cool. The best thing about this piece, though, it's a little expensive. That's not the best thing. It's what, $20K, I think?
Yeah,
it's not a cheap watch by any stretch of the imagination. But you get 72-hour power reserve, 100 meters of water resistance, so it is a proper sports watch, which is amazing. And it's thin. It's very thin. It's 8 millimeters, 9 millimeters. Which is a lot thinner than the skeletonized Santos that we've seen in the past, which was a pretty chunky affair. So definitely my favorite piece. I'm kind of obsessed with that sort of luxury sports watch category that has kind of grit and elegance in it at the same time. I feel like this watch sort of fit that bill. So
it certainly does. Yeah.
Lots more to see from the show, SIHH 2019, blog to watch. We've got plenty more coverage. We'll be walking the show floor. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, blog to watch. And keep aBlogtoWatch.com refreshed for updates. So we'll see you out there. Thanks,
Stay
David.
tuned, guys.
Cheers. Thanks.